So the big question is this: how do investors like us who trade options and manage our own money generate income regardless of where the stock market goes, and do it all in a way that lets us make time for the people and things we love, and yet still build wealth and remain profitable? That's the question, and this podcast will give you the answer. I'm your host, Kirk Duplessis, and you're listening to The Daily Call from Option Alpha. Hey everyone, this is Kirk here again at OptionAlpha.com, where we show you how to make smart trades, and welcome back to The Daily Call. Today, we are going to be talking about the cheapest options trading brokers. And when we say the cheapest, we are naturally talking about the option trading brokers that have the cheapest commission rates. Now, before we get into what I think are the top three as far as cheapness goes and commissions go, I just want to make one disclaimer, and that is that in most cases, you get exactly what you pay for when it comes to an options trading broker. So although it might seem a little bit tempting to go with the absolute cheapest broker, and in many cases that might fit your needs very well, you have to understand that the reality is in this business, commissions are a cost of doing business. And if you go with a broker that charges commissions, you will likely find yourself in a trading platform and in an environment that might end up making more money because of the broker charging commissions. And I'll explain this thought process here in just a second. So the three, I think, cheapest options brokers out there, and I'll start in order of cheapness. So the ones that cost the least, all the way, or the least, all the way up to ones that cost a little bit more. I'll start with obviously Robinhood. So Robinhood is the cheapest broker because they actually charge no commissions at all. And yes, that seems too good to be true, but it actually is the fact that they do charge no commissions. There's no commissions to enter, no commissions to exit, and no commissions to assign or exercise contracts. So Robinhood has grown tremendously in popularity, and we had the chance to interview their co-founder and one of their CEOs, Baiju Bhatt, on our regular weekly podcast. You can just search Robinhood on our platform, and you can check out that podcast and my interview with Baiju. But I think the thing with Robinhood that I do realize is their growth pain point is that although they offer a very cheap platform as far as commissions go with no commission cost, the reality is that the technology and the indicators that you get are virtually non-existent. So they have really streamlined themselves into being the lowest cost provider, zero cost to the end user, to the retail trader, which means that they cut out all the frills and everything else that you could do with other brokers. And in fact, at the time of this recording, they don't even yet have the ability to do advanced order functionality like spreads, iron condors, iron butterflies, etc. Rolling seems a little bit, costly, and it seems like it's, not as intuitive as it should be. There's no charting, there's no indicators, there's no IV rank. None of that stuff is included. So you really get kind of like the bare bones of what you want to do. The next layer up from that, so the second, cheapest broker would probably be a tie almost, depending on where you're at in the world and, what type of account you have, would probably be a tie between either Tastyworks or Interactive Brokers. I'll start with Interactive Brokers because I think Interactive Brokers has probably the cheapest commission rates. And in many cases, the stock commission rate is, pennies. The options commission rate is also under $1 in many cases per contract. So again, with Interactive Brokers, you get a huge ability to cut some cost out of your platform and out of your portfolio by going with a very cheap broker. But very much like Robinhood, the limitation to Interactive Brokers is the technology. And I would dare to say that, unfortunately, the Interactive Brokers technology and platform for anybody who's even tried to use it is so old and so archaic that it really becomes cumbersome and hard to use. Now, I know a lot of people like it. A lot of people are used to trading on it. I, for one, have tried many, many times to trade on Interactive Brokers and use their demo software, but it is really, really old. It's like going back to 1997 and using like a Windows 97 version. It seems so old and so outdated, but it is what it is. It's their, structure. And again, you get what you pay for. Very cheap commissions, lots of ability to trade internationally. So that's why it's good for people who are trying to trade internationally in options. But unfortunately, it's a really, really bad platform, terrible to use. The mobile platform is non-existent, basically. So it's really, really hard. So the last one then is Tastyworks, which I think is a happy medium in many cases for a lot of reasons. I think the technology is good. I think they are obviously improving it and trying to make it better. We are trying to partner up with them once they release their public API to integrate into our auto trading and bot software, but it's not something that they actually allow people to do yet. So nobody's able to integrate to their platforms, which is why we're just waiting for that to happen. But their commissions basically start at $1 per contract with no closing trade fees, and then have a maximum of $10 per leg. So there's kind of this like dynamic pricing model that they run, which I think ends up being very, very cheap. And when they actually came out with their pricing model, they were the lowest before Robinhood officially launched into options trading. But with Tastyworks, as opposed to Robinhood, you actually do get a full-fledged trading platform with indicators and the ability to manage positions, etc. So I think it's a happy medium. And again, you get what you pay for. Yes, it costs a little bit in commissions, but I think the commission cost that covers the platform and the technology more than pays for itself. My rub with a lot of these low-cost providers is that, and especially with the likes of people like Robinhood and other low-cost providers that are starting to come out, is that because of the inefficiency of the technology, the commissions that you save are more than overshadowed by, in many cases, the slippage or the inability to get into or out of contracts quickly that you find in these platforms with bad technology. So to use an example, and not necessarily to pick on Robinhood totally, but if you have to get into or out of a contract, and let's say you want to do a spread trade, because you can't do a spread trade right now in Robinhood in one single order, that creates a real problem. Because if you, let's say, buy one leg for $10 and you're hoping to sell the other leg for $15, between the time that it allows you to buy one leg for $10 and sell another for $15, the price may have moved up to $16. So, now you have some sort of pricing inefficiency where you thought you were going to get, let's say, a $5 spread. Now you might get more, you might get less, but that slippage can be really dangerous. And if you don't have the ability to actually do spread trades or do dynamic pricing and to do stop losses or trailing stop losses or market orders or non-market orders, that creates a real inefficiency. And that slippage and kind of that inefficiency from technology is not directly felt by the user. You don't feel that necessarily because you don't see it on your statement that you maybe could have, priced that strategy for $1 better or $2 better per contract. But that's exactly what happens. And so in many cases, even though cheap commissions are a really big draw for a lot of people, it ends up creating an environment where people maybe take on more risks than they necessarily think they're doing. So it could be a little bit dangerous. So again, just take your time with it as always. I always tell people use whatever broker platform kind of fits and suits you. Many have, really good rates to start off with. So you can trade commission free or get used to their platform. They have lots of demos. We obviously have lots of training on all kinds of different option platforms on our website already. So you can check out some of the training that we have for free and kind of, pick and choose which one you feel most comfortable with. As a side note and a reminder, we do use thinkorswim because it integrates with our options trading software. So like I said, I want to expand that out to other brokers like Tastyworks and like Robinhood in the future, although neither of them offer public APIs to be able to connect into. So although we'd love to expand our options trading technology, auto trading technology to other brokers, we also need them to allow you guys and us as the users the ability to access their platform with our technology. So anything you guys can do to help out and just sending them emails and requests and saying, hey, we want to connect our Tastyworks or connect our Robinhood account with Option Alpha, the more that they hear from people like you in the community, the more willing they are to open up those channels to us in the future. That all being said, even though we trade with thinkorswim and their public rates are a little bit high, you do have the ability to negotiate them lower. So we have negotiated much of our options trading and stock trading rates to the same ranges that you find at the Tastyworks and the Robinhoods of the world. So you do have the ability to negotiate commissions lower. I always suggest that you do that. And we obviously work with our members to get them low commissions as they get started with our auto trading technology. So as always, hopefully this helps out. If you guys have any questions, let me know. Until next time, happy trading. Thanks for joining us on the Daily Call. Be sure to subscribe right now for more daily options trading ideas, strategies, and tactics to help you learn how to place smarter, more profitable trades. And if you like what we're doing, don't forget to give us a rating and a review so we can continue to bring you the best daily content possible. We'll see you again tomorrow, right here on the Daily Call from OptionAlpha.com.